What is the Sleep Deep Method sleep assessment tool about, and how can it help you to either improve your sleep or actually make a plan to overcome your sleep problems and even insomnia? So the Sleep Deep Method sleep assessment tool was designed by me. I've put together a range of questions to really help you assess your sleep in a different way, assess your weaknesses, but also assess your strength. Because when I come across clients, it's not just about what you can't do. It's often actually about establishing what are the things that are working for you, what are the things that you are already able to sort of make happen, and then we can build from there. So this isn't just about the negative things, this is also about acknowledging what are the things that you are doing that are positive and good and are in a good place. Now, before we jump into the entire sort of reason why I've done it and what you can expect from this, I wanted to obviously first of all introduce myself to those of you who might not have had the chance to see any of my videos before. If you're returning, I always welcome your views, comments, even likes. Thank you so much for being part of my community. But those of you who are new, let me just introduce myself. So my name is Beatrix Schmidt. I'm a sleep coach, a professional speaker, and the creator of the Sleep Skills for Life program. And the reason I created the program and I started working with people as well is because I struggled with insomnia too. This was well over 12 years ago, but I know how it feels not to be able to consistently sleep well and actually really struggle with serious sleep problems. My sleep problems got to a point where I used to regularly wake up in the middle of the night with nosebleeds because that's how exhausted my body was. That was the signs of my insomnia. Yours might not be the same, but we will all have the things that actually show up when we're not sleeping well consistently or we're experiencing insomnia for a long period of time. So now that we've covered that, I wanted to invite you to subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit the like button below once you watch the video, obviously, and come and introduce yourself in the comments or ask a question, or even let me know if you've already completed the Sleep Deep Method sleep assessment tool and how it helped you. So now that we've sort of covered all of that, let's really look at what you can expect from this sleep assessment tool. The first thing I wanted to cover here is that it's not appropriate for every single type of sleep problem that you might have. I talked about 3 different types of sleep assessments in a previous video, so I'll link that here for you. But not everybody's best go and do an online sleep assessment. If you have serious sleep problems, it's best often to actually really speak to a professional who's practiced in the field, either myself or someone else you might be able to find locally. Because not every problem can be fixed in a different way and sorted out in a different way. So it's really important for you to understand where you actually are on that scale of sleep problems. But the sleep assessment tool can really help you to even start somewhere. So I'm not saying never ever do it. I think it's just really important for you to understand how it might be helpful or maybe unhelpful for you depending on the scale of the problem you have. So who do I recommend that actually goes and does the sleep assessment through my work? If you have serious sleep problems, but you're not sleeping less than, let's say, 6 hours at any one night, and you probably only struggle maybe 3 or less out of 7 days, that's probably going to be the person who is best suited to do this kind of online sleep assessment. Anything above that, you really want to speak to someone who can help you in a different way. But another way that you can look at this as well is looking at the sleep assessment tool periodically. So let's say maybe you do the assessment first and then you go and work on your sleep for a month, and then you come back and you reassess your sleep again and see how you fit in on those ranges that we give. So that's a good way to even use the sleep assessment tool that I've designed. Now, what are the things that we look at within the sleep assessment, this version of the sleep assessment? So the questions are designed, like I mentioned earlier, not just look at the negative things, but also look at your strengths. So it will look at both what you struggle with more and what you're actually really good at. And each of these are put into subcategories. So the categories we look at within this sleep assessment tool is, first of all, sleep basics, when we look at the quality and the quantity of the sleep, what level of tiredness you might feel, and so on. Then we look at your ability to be able to fall asleep easily in the evening. So this is one of the 4 different sleep pillars that I look at in my practice. Then we look at your ability to be able to sleep through the night without disturbances, or the level of disturbances you might actually experience. Again, that's another sub category within the assessment tool. And then we look at your ability to be able to wake up naturally in the morning. So waking up isn't just something that should happen, it should happen naturally. So again, we'll really look at what are those areas that maybe you can sort of tweak, and how you actually really fit into this scale of sleep problems in each area, and also within a general overall area as well. So not just an overall score, but you will also be sort of given a score within each area, and this really helps you to figure out which are the areas that maybe you need to sort of put more work in, and which are the areas that are actually probably in a good place. So within all of those questions that we ask you, you will then be able to look at all these sort of results within your personalized report, which will get sent to you automatically. Again, with the use of technology, we're able to make this a very smooth process and a quite simple process. And the length of time it takes, I've had people who've done the sleep assessment tool questions within 3 minutes. Some people took a little bit longer, but one of the things I would ask you to do is do it in one go. Go through each question so you can actually really generate your report. You're not going to get a report if you halfway sort of complete it. The entire questionnaire and the sleep assessment tool needs to be completed for it to generate your results. So you don't want to miss out on that either. So this is how it's going to start helping you to actually start making a plan. When you establish which areas you struggle with the most, you're then able to put your attention into that area and start with that. But I always recommend to take this journey one step at a time. If you change too many things, you might not know what's working. So I would really encourage you to look at the area that comes up on the report as probably the weakest. Really focus your attention there before you start addressing the other areas as well, because otherwise you might be doing too many things and you might not know which things are actually really effective long-term consistently. So these are the different ways that I actually recommend you use the sleep assessment tool and how it can help you build a plan. If you've got any more questions afterwards, obviously I'm here to help and support you, and will give you suggestions of what that might look like. But again, this is a free and complimentary sleep assessment tool at this stage, and I really would love you to just come along, do the assessment, look at your report and start using it to your benefit. So thank you so much for watching. If you have already completed the sleep assessment tool, let me know what you found, what your report has said to you, and what action steps you're going to be taking to really start overcoming challenges in that area of your sleep.